A skeleton recovered from the Leyland-Chon experiments on human evolution. In these tests, volunteers were subjected to procedures to accelerate the development of mankind. No subject is recorded to have survived. Their crab-like form is thought to be an instance of carcinization.
Yup, that's me. Evolved into some sort of crab man, died, and then put on display in a children's museum. You're probably wondering how I got here. Well, it all started with a team of scientists. These scientists wanted to create the most advanced human specimen known to mankind. They thought that since evolution led to the rise of human intelligence, that if the process were accelerated, it would eventually create the ultimate specimen representing the pinnacle of human advancement. Stronger, faster, and of course, more intelligent, with a brain more powerful than any living Homo sapien. So unfathomably pure that they would have to be classified as a new species. One look at Krabby, and you can see that they were only right about the new species part. While these scientists were seemingly smart enough to invent a machine that accelerates evolution, they weren't smart enough to understand the mechanisms behind evolution in the first place. Evolution is not a system that has some sort of start and end. It also doesn't really have a goal in mind. It's just doing trial and error. The organisms who gain the advantageous adaptations survive over the organisms that gain the stupid ones. Different adaptations will be more or less useful or detrimental in different environments. Organisms gain these adaptations via mutation and are filtered out with natural selection. And the less successful organisms get to be food for the more successful organisms. So everyone gets to participate. The key here is the environment. Case in point, lungs are great for breathing air, not for breathing water. Since humans change the environment around them rather than just having more kids until they die less immediately, they've seemingly removed themselves from the selective pressures of evolution. Now, I know what you're thinking. How the fuck does that add up to crab?
Hey, get that camera out of my face.
And I got a theory about that too. Evolutionary biologist L.A. Borradale coined the term carcinization in 1916 to describe the convergent evolution process in which a crustacean evolves into a crab-like form from a non-crab-like form. He didn't just coin this incredibly stupid process for no reason. It's actually very common. There are two schools of thought as to why everything always turns into crab. It turns out, hilariously, that the most efficient and adaptable body plan is the crab. And therefore, if given enough time, any being will eventually evolve into it. I don't know, maybe being crab is fun. Don't knock it till you try it. A machine such as the one needed to accelerate evolution would likely just accelerate mutations. Large-scale mutations in one generation would lead to unstable organisms. These organisms may have organs or limbs that cannot function properly, making them future dog food, to use the scientific term. But there's likely one form hardy and adaptable enough to survive for just a little bit, even with a bunch of mutant tumors in its body: the crab. Being the most adaptable body plan, an organism that somehow survived having its evolution accelerated would come to resemble a hybrid of their former physiology and a crab. While the crab is undeniably the most effective body plan, a bipedal mammalian body would have to go through a complete restructuring to even slightly resemble one. For one, humans have 4 limbs, and most crabs have 10. To have a gait at all similar to crabs, we would need to have 3 limbs used as legs, and 1 used as a pincer. This would result in a hilariously clumsy tripod style of walking. Evolution can't magically make us sprout new limbs, so only 1 arm would be available to be turned into a pincer. This gives the crab man a strange, asymmetrical appearance. The shell is quite similar to a turtle's, essentially being a modified ribcage that the head and neck receded into. The bones in the man's face have cracked and reshaped to resemble the jaws of a crab. Finally, one of the hands lost all but 2 fingers, and its nails grew longer and sharper to resemble pincers. This structure is made of keratin, like a cow's horn. Hence, the longer the crab man lives, the longer his pincer is. While this might seem cool, it essentially means he's in gross hobo mode and never trims his nails. Pro tip, you can bite off your nails and eat them so you don't have to cut them. While the initial report states there were no survivors, this is humans we're talking about. Of course they're lying. Multiple of these organisms actually did survive, but only the ones that most heavily came to resemble crabs. The scientists were shocked and horrified at the results of their experiments. The crabmen were also notably not more intelligent, but less so. In fact, they seemingly lost most of their humanity, and their behavior became much more crab-like. One of the most notable changes to their behavior was their eating habits. For those who don't know, crabs are often scavengers. The quote-unquote hyper-evolved humans became less discerning when it came to what they ate. Whereas before, they had what could be called a regular human diet consisting solely of McDonald's and beer or some shit. They upgraded to consuming actual trash and their own and other individuals' feces. The crab people also became notably more aggressive, attempting to kill and consume whatever is in front of them, especially other crab people. The strangest behavior displayed by these crab people was not crab-like in nature, but instead revealed a fraction of the humanity they had left. The scientists found this out when they took little precaution with interacting with them. They thought that a being more evolved would be more intelligent and moral. Thing is, evolution doesn't breed, intellectually stimulating friends. It breeds killing machines. The crab people pursued the scientists relentlessly, and then the scientists that didn't immediately Kermit sewer slide upon seeing what they had done were dispatched and consumed by the crabmen. Although, they did it with tears streaming down their heavily mutated faces, and they all lived happily ever after. The end. This story cements once and for all that the pinnacle of evolution is not in fact human, but crab. Remember folks, next time someone gets mad at you for giving them crabs, tell them that they should thank you for making them more evolved. I know you still watch my videos, you can't be mad at me. This story was based on an image and brief caption by one artist, Eduardo Valdés-Hevia. They're a great artist and you should go check out their work. If you like this video and want to see more, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe with all notifications enabled, or I'll evolve you into a crab. I want to thank Dead Rex for drawing this crab man. I'd like to thank Biodegradable for editing this video. They're a great editor and you should go watch all of their things. Shout out the Inner Circle. Love y'all.